I'm coming through here today without a plan for this conversation. I just feel compelled to speak on evidence. So we know when we're manifesting, a very powerful part of the process that I have shared with you is to sit daily and to ask the evidence of our manifestation to be revealed so that we might capture it, record it, and use it to inflame the belief that we have within us, right? We want to get that fire of our own belief burning so bright that we show up day after day after day, expecting to see further evidence of what we are calling in for ourselves as ourselves. So I know evidence has been one of the things that many of the women within this program have been struggling with. They sit with their journal, with their piece of paper, and when it comes to evidence, what they are expecting to see is some sort of tangible, in the moment, 3D, provable, discernible evidence that they can literally see, touch, hold, and use as an example. What I would like you to do in this space is to understand that I'm asking actually that you suspend logic in the moments that you are stepping closer to the evidence that is available for you. When we speak of evidence of our manifestation, sometimes, yes, there will be things in physical form that we notice, that appear, that become available. But ultimately, if we are only looking for things in the 3D, a number on the scales, a number in our bank account, something that we find, something that somebody says to us, we're cutting ourselves off from so much more of what is available to us, through us, as us. So what I'm suggesting is when you sit and it is time to curate evidence, if you feel like you don't have anything to put on that page, you don't see that as a roadblock. You don't use that as the reason why you can't manifest what it is you truly desire. And instead, you see that moment, you relate to that moment as an invitation to connect with something beyond you. God, source energy, universe, greatness, bigness, whatever it is you want to relate to outside of yourself that can support you in the moments that you feel limited, doubtful, fearful, scarce in any way. There is an abundance of support available to you if only you could remember to access that part of you that doesn't operate from logic but feels into more. And we all experience that differently based on where we are within our own journey, within self and with source. So for me, when I get stuck, when I feel lost, when I'm contemplating something a little too deeply and I can feel myself getting rigid and restricted, when it feels like I'm trying to force my manifestation rather than allow my manifestation, I stop myself in that moment, and instead of squeezing my experience for evidence, I ask, please show me. What am I missing? What haven't I seen? What can I feel? What could I remember? What might I anticipate? And I sit in the silence and stillness of receiving. And I trust and I know that drops of clarity or moments of inspiration or just a transmission of truth will arrive for me to capture in front of myself and see the evidence that appears, not through my own force and will and determination to manage everything so that I'm in control, but in remembering that I am an active co-creator in everything that I am experiencing. And it is not always up to me to find the way. Sometimes it's okay to ask, can I please be shown? Can I please be guided? Can I please be supported? I need your help right now. And when we start to be in communication, not only within ourselves, but outside ourselves, and we open ourselves up to all that is available to come to us, through us, as us, then searching for evidence doesn't feel like this treasure hunt that we need a map for. And instead, it feels like this gentle check-in with self, with circumstance, with environment, and with source that we can trust, knowing and believing that the evidence is always there. You want to get to a point where you don't sit down and think, is there evidence? You sit down and you know there is evidence to be seen, to be felt, to be remembered, to be transmuted. You wouldn't have those desires on your heart or at the base of your being ready to be manifested if they weren't meant for you. If there wasn't going to be something that would lead the way for you. You don't have to have this figured out. The human in you doesn't have to have this all figured out. There is no 10-step process for us to be women who live a life of intention and manifest our desires. What we must be willing to do is suspend the idea that there is a right way of being, that there is a curriculum of things that we have to learn, that there are boxes we have to tick, and then we will see ourselves in a space of abundance, joy, peace, prosperity, and instead realize it is already available to us, for us, as us, and we only need to get to work to align ourselves with all that is intended for us. It's already there. It already exists. We are in a process of deconditioning, of unlearning and realigning ourselves again and again and again. And you'll know when you're on the right track because it will feel good. You know you're on the right track because you will have patience and faith and belief. Even when there is no tangible evidence, it will be a feeling. That is the evidence. The knowing, the willingness, the expansiveness, the trust, that gentle hum that nudges you, that lures you forward, that has you continuing to show up devoted to your daily practice for reasons you logically can't understand. You just know you're compelled, you're led, you're guided. And as you allow yourself to be guided and led, and as you show up with the same intention, day after day after day, it will begin to reveal itself to you as you. You will begin to see the world through a new lens, in a different way, with a new perspective, with a new willingness. You will notice, you will see, you will transmute, you will hear, you will feel things in a way you have never felt them before, and that will be the point. That is part of your manifestation. Success as you have experienced it in the past does not occur in the future that you are creating. So you have to suspend the idea that anything that has been defined as success in your past is what is going to appear and what you will experience in the future. Because the point of manifesting is that we are creating a new reality for yourself. So don't expect it to be like it has been in the past. Don't expect yourself to be showing up in the same way, saying the same things, feeling the same things, experiencing the same things. When we are manifesting powerfully, what we are actually doing is sitting in a seat of complete uncertainty, unpredictability. We don't know what comes next. That is the point. And that is why we continue to align ourselves to our values, to what is true for us, and to the faith that we have that what we are co-creating is meant for us. That every day we experience ourselves and life continues to offer more and more and more. And it is our job to open ourselves up wider, to hold more, to be willing to feel more, to give greater thanks for the more, and to make ourselves available to even more. This is the energy that we want to be in. This is the feeling you want to have as you transmute the evidence that is gifted to you. I really want to urge you to stop thinking of manifestation and creating a life for yourself as a test you need to pass. When you sit down for your daily practices, it shouldn't feel like you're sitting down to an exam. It shouldn't be a process of having to get it right. It should just be a complete drop-in with self, a complete opening of your channel, a complete connection with spirit, with source, with energy. A remembering of what matters most to you, a reclaiming of what feels good for you. That is what I want for you. That is what you are worthy of experiencing. And that's when life just gets a whole lot better. When we realize we are supposed to feel good along the way. We shouldn't be holding ourselves back. Excuse me, I've got something in my eye. We shouldn't be holding ourselves back. from feeling good, from being grateful, from smiling from within until we have the thing, right? You know this. I know you know this. I've just come through to remind you of this today. If you're waiting to manifest a certain thing in the physical form, thinking that then I'll be happy, then I'll be prosperous, then life will be good, then I will feel at peace, my friend, that is a tricky and unfair kind of a trick. It's a trick. It's an illusion. You are deluded if you are thinking in that way. And my apologies for coming in and just saying that so abruptly, but I think sometimes we need that abruptness to wake us up and remember us. Oh yes, I remember. I'm committing myself to a way of being, a way of thinking, a way of feeling, a way of moving, a way of experiencing that feels good in the moment so that I can stay in alignment and calibrated to the things that are meant for me. If you continue to return yourself to scarcity, to fear, to limitation, to doubt, then you have no choice but to manifest more of that for yourself. That's the energy you are producing. That's what you're magnetizing. That's what you are going to experience. You have to ask of yourself to literally, quite literally, shake that off, change your state, create thought forms that support what you do want to experience more of. Feel that in your body, and from that space, remember and reclaim what is your birthright. That joy, that love, that peace, that surrender, and that knowing, that devotion to purpose means that we continue to ask questions, we continue to ask for guidance, we continue to transmute all that is coming through us, and then we share it in our many varied and beautiful ways. Our giftedness comes through when we know for sure that our being is not just a product of the school that we went to, the course that we did, the place that we live. That our being and what we transmute in the world comes from a deeper place. A place that logic does not get to touch, a place that we can't articulate clearly, a place where we know we are just co-creating in a moment of flow, and the magic of who we are, our giftedness, our ability to be present, to be certain, to be sure, and then to transmute all that comes through us is where we find ourselves. I feel compelled to talk a little more about our purpose. So our purpose isn't a job title. Our purpose isn't a thing that we do. Our purpose is more of what we choose to be, who we choose to be, how we choose to calibrate ourselves and our energy. And then we use relationship, we use job, we use things that we do in our life to share and offer up and transmute all that we are sharing with the world. Some of us might have jobs that allow us to really activate our purpose and have that be shared in a really clear and distinct way. But your purpose may not be so clear cut, right? Purpose can just be to tune your energy into your truth and to live from that space of truth, so that as you move through the world, you offer a frequency to all those around you of truth, of love, of joy, of compassion, of kindness, of empathy. That may be your purpose here on this earth. And my friend, if that is your purpose, may you fine-tune your own energy and be that powerful frequency that only you can be, so that we might all calibrate best to you. Okay? All right. I hope that you've heard something in this for yourself. I hope whoever this was intended for today has had this land for them. And I look forward to hearing what this has brought up in you, what this has brought to you, what this has reminded you of, or what this has provoked for you. All right. Love you.